Welcome back, everybody, to the Believers Club. You're on another episode. We're so happy that you're here with us, you're tuning in, and that you're loving the content. I'm Harj Tiara.
And I'm Serena, looking all greasy for you guys. I don't mind, but welcome back, guys.
I just came fresh off of a meeting. Okay, I don't always wear a blazer, but
trying to have a background here, yeah.
But we're still in quarantine, and we're still wanting to give you content. So last week, we talked about how to find your passion and how to start developing your love for the things that you enjoy doing. Today, we want to come to you with how to handle naysayers, because once you discover your passion and you start implementing it, the next thing that typically tends to happen is people giving you their opinions and their judgments on what you love to do.
AKA, a lot of people would call them haters, but we're going to go into depth because we can always confuse people that just don't understand into haters or that they just don't want you to succeed. But I feel like it's a deeper thing to a hater or a naysayer or someone just doesn't understand what you're trying to do with life.
Yeah, and you know what? The quickest way for you to lose success in your business is you discover your passion, and then you come across someone like your mom who's like, I don't understand what you do. You label her as a hater, and then you give up.
Yes,
right?
And let that shift your whole mentality of what you wanted to achieve in the first place, and you just let someone completely throw you off the path.
Yeah, so we want to help you to uncover what is truly somebody a hater and what is actually someone just being like, hey, what is this? And we can call it a naysayer, but it's most likely someone that just doesn't understand what you're doing. So if I was to ask you, Serena, what has been your experience in when you uncovered the fact that you loved makeup and that you want to turn this into a business? What was your experience with coming up with conflict when it came to people?
I think for me, at the beginning, I definitely considered a lot of people who just weren't supportive, and whatever expectation I put on them, if they weren't meeting that, I consider that hate. But as I went through the years, I realized, first of all, I was giving way too much power to other people about what I'm going to be achieving. So right away, I had to think of all the different things that, am I the hater, or am I creating the hate within myself and putting that out and making it seem like other people are hating on what I'm trying to do? For me, it started from putting too many expectations on the people around me, like my family and friends, and expecting them to show up for me when I was just starting to show up for myself.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was very confused. To this day, obviously, we're human. I feel a type of way about certain people not showing love or different things. So, and it's a forever process for me to not let that get to me, because I have to always jump back to me. Because who's in control of this? Me.
At the end of the day,
nobody's gonna do anything. The people who are hating, the naysayers, parents, anybody, they're not gonna achieve the goals you're trying to achieve yourself for yourself. Exactly. So I had to take that power back, but it was a struggle at first. But yeah, I was putting way too many expectations on people around me.
Yeah, right. And that can be like the biggest killer of motivation too, right? Yeah. Because not everybody comes to that realization of like, you know what, I'm in control. Some people they then sell their dream away, right? And the reason why I think it's so important to uncover what is someone giving you like criticism and feedback as opposed to someone actually hating on you, you have to get to the root of like, what is their intention, right? Because for example, like when I was working full time and I said, you know what, I actually want to go into a life coaching business. For my family, that was a little bit that was a risk, right? Because to them, when I went back to coaching school, they were like, oh, she'll do this on the side for fun, right? But she'll have her full-time job in sales, but that's great. She wants to do the side thing and help people, but they didn't realize that I had the intention to actually turn it into a bigger business.
They understand what your plan was behind it.
Why would she want to do that, right? Why would she want to risk a job? So they used to say things like that, like, you know, you went to school, you spent so much money on education. And I've had friends say that too. I've had friends be like, yo, you worked in PR, you went to school for marketing and public relations, and you're not doing anything with it anymore. You're doing this coaching thing. And I don't know, like you have so much education. And so sometimes people that are close to you are genuinely worried that you're making the wrong decision. They're not waking up every day and being like, you know what, how am I going to screw up Harj's life? Like, how am I going to put a tower in the middle of her dreams? They don't necessarily wake up with that, but they're watching you, right? And a lot of times they'll have an opinion because they have not done the things that you have done. They have not walked in your shoes, and they don't have some of the dreams that you have, right? So for them, I think it's really important to understand, first of all, what are they actually saying to you? Right? Because when I look back, I remember my brother was saying to me, you know what, Harj, like, you should just build up yourself at work and just continue to climb the ladder, and you'll make a lot of money that way. Right? And so for him, I, in that moment, was like, oh, he's hating on my dream. But if I actually look at what he's saying, he wants me to make more money down the road.
But he also told you what he knew himself.
He knew himself.
Yeah.
So I can't categorize that as hating, because at the end of the day, what is his goal in saying this to me? His goal is to make sure my sister is secure for the rest of her life. And he's coming from a place of being worried. Sometimes it can come out in a way where it's like the tone is off and you're like, this person's hating on me. And then there's the difference. There's like, I'll tell you guys very, very quickly, when I first did my very first live on Facebook, right? I had come back from this awesome convention in LA and I was pumped up, and I did this like motivational video, right?
Yeah.
And 10 minutes after I posted the video, there was a girl that I didn't really know on Facebook, and she made a post saying, wow, just logged onto Facebook, and I guess everybody believes they're a motivational speaker now. Right? It could have been towards me. It could have not have been. It was conveniently right after I posted my video. But I was like, wait a second, that's a hater. Because that is someone who is like, oh, great. Like, this person thinks they can do it.
They're going out of their way to showcase hate onto a person they, first of all, don't know. That pretty much flat out sounds like hate. Like, I don't know how they would justify it.
As opposed to your mom who's worried about you and is like, how are you going to make money?
Or just doesn't understand how you make money off of coaching. What do you do? Are you going to be hurt coaching other people? Like, parents always have questions. And parents are not haters. They just don't, most of the time, they just don't understand what the fuck you're trying to do with their life and what choices you're making are going to be beneficial to you.
Could you imagine if we had kids and all of a sudden this whole new industry opened up that we knew nothing about? And they said, you know what, mom and dad, I'm just going to go run off and do that thing. I would be concerned, right? Our parents didn't necessarily have the tools and the language to research what it is that we do, but we'll be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
I think that, like, when it comes to figuring out who is who, it's really breaking down the conversation, right? Like, what are they trying to, when someone says to me, oh, great, just another motivational speaker, what are they trying to give me in value? Nothing. But when someone says, oh, I'm kind of worried because, like, how are you going to make money? And maybe you should do this. They're going out of their way to give me advice.
And also that gives you the opportunity to clear things up and explain to them and make them understand and turn them from a naysayer or a hater into someone who's a supporter.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what I've noticed in turning someone into a supporter is because I've done a few different things, right? Life coaching being one of them, and now financial education. And when I started my second venture, everybody in my family was like, oh God, here she goes.
There she goes again,
But I stayed so committed to it that I'm really in my room on meetings, after meetings, making things happen. They're now seeing the commitment. So your families and your close people are always watching you, right?
They're watching your actions, man.
You be committed, then dude, they're going to be on board.
Yeah. And support, sometimes it's such a thin line. For me, it was like, I felt like we're in the social media game, and that's kind of where my makeup journey started. Like I mentioned last time, for 2-3 years, I was watching videos and seeing other people from like Vancouver, from other cities that I've lived in, and just seeing that they're able to just pick up something and create for themselves. And I was like, you know what? I want to do that. I I wanted to, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought, but I wanted to be, I wanted to do something for myself. And not everyone would have understood that at that point. But it started with me, myself. And when it came to expecting support, for me, it was just through social media because I started on Instagram. It was my first time on Instagram, and not knowing the platform, I literally expected all my cousins that I was close with or all the friends. I was like, oh, they're just going to come like go crazy, liking things and, spreading the word. And it went completely opposite of that. It was literally so quiet. And for a long time, it felt like hate to me.
Mm.
And but then as you go through life and as you go through your own journey and learning the craft and just everything that I've gone through, I realized that first of all, I was just giving too much power. Like I said earlier, I was giving too much power to other people around me, uh, over my dreams that only I can fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to throw, like, as much as it comes back up, you just, oh, that person didn't show love here, or oh, they didn't bring that up, but then they brought up someone else's stuff. It's like a, the devil and the angel on your shoulder. It's like that devil will speak up and I have to always look to, that's my practice now. Like as soon as a negative shows up, I have to go to the positive.
Wow.
To just bring myself back to me. Because
Right.
that's where it starts.
Always.
People are not in control of anything me and you or other people are going to accomplish. You're not going to be successful if you're putting expectations on other people.
Exactly. And I think one really good thing, another thing too, is to, when we determine who's a hater and who's a naysayer and who's just being confused, is what are your expectations in how they show up for you?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And right. So like, what is your individual expectations? Because it changes from person to person. Different people do different things. Right.
How
And
your connection with people. Yeah.
and different people show support in different ways, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to, because we can so easily just be like, they're a hater because they're not doing the thing that I expect. But
yes.
right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
well, okay, first of all, did we explain to them what we need?
Exactly.
Right. Because it's like
We don't.
some people say, like, some people don't even know how social media works, in the sense of like, if you like my post or comment, you're increasing my engagement. Right. Because I've run across this conversation with people and they're like, I like your shit. Like, of course, like I come to your event, and I'm like, oh, but if you can also like my thing on Facebook, that's awesome. They're like, oh, okay, sure, done. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's a tough conversation sometimes because we don't want to ask.
It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to literally put your ego aside, your pride aside, and show up to whoever it is, family member or friends or anybody that's been part of your life, your whole life. It's still hard to come up and be like, can you support this? Because at the end of the day, first reaction is, first of all, they may not understand, they may judge, or they don't find any urgency that you're finding in the support that you're wanting. So it's like a mind fuck for yourself when you're putting all that like control in someone else's hand.
Yeah. And you know what? It's crazy because they say that entrepreneurship is not just about your business. There's so much growth and so much personal development.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't make it, because they're so focused on just growing their business and they don't focus on growing themselves, because these tough things come up.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's such a mental thing. It's not just physical. It's not just starting a business and you just let it go. No,
Yeah.
I feel like I've been working on myself for the last 4 years, and I know for the next 10, 20, it's going to be more work, and I'm going to learn new things.
Grown
And
so much. You've grown
yeah,
so much as a person.
yeah, for sure. And I see it, and every day though I'm growing. Like every day there's something, okay, I can't do that. Like, no, I can't reply that way. No, I can't. And that's when you know what? I'll clap for myself, because it's like, no, that's kind of the little steps that you thought that you would never give up, or certain personality traits that now you're working through, you're accepting, but also changing it to have a better and a positive impact on yourself before thinking of others.
Because choosing not to grow and choosing not to like do what you said you just did, like that's a sign of maturity for people, right? That's a sign of like, right? And so many people are like stuck on to their story. They're stuck on to like their way of being. And I think that's a huge sign of emotional immaturity. And in that sense, people will struggle in business.
Well, they're struggling in life in
In
general.
life,
'Cause
right?
that's what we're talking about here is not even just business related. This is like, you could apply this to everyday life. Like, this is not, yes, this is for people because this is the first thing that kind of gets, when you start something, first thing you look for is support.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays with social media, I always mention it, but you expect and hope for support. Definitely expecting before hoping. The
Mm,
other way around, you'd be much healthier. If I just
yeah.
hoped and didn't expect, I would have been happier because I wouldn't have put that much energy in thinking people should be there
And
when
you would be
they
grateful
don't.
for
Nobody needs to do shit for you. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah. And you would be grateful for the amount of support that you do get.
Because you just hoped for it and you got it.
It means something different, right? When you put
Totally,
such a big
for sure.
expectation, the energy is not the same, right? So it's like, and so we label somebody as a hater because they don't understand us, or there's not been a conversation of like what we need from them, right? So like we just say like, okay, like you're just hating on me, as opposed to somebody that's actually hating on you. If you can't put them in the same category, right?
Yeah, like I have to know, like there are haters. There's people who, these are probably the haters because this will be a person who just doesn't like you.
Mhm.
Like they just don't like you, so they're not gonna like anything you do. They could be a hater, they could just be part of your past, so that you could
9 times out of 10, it's like
them
they
down.
don't hate you, they just hate the fact that they can't do that.
That was gonna be my next point. So it starts off with they don't understand, not even the understanding part. That's not a hater, that's like someone that just doesn't understand. But a hater is someone who doesn't like you, so they're not never gonna support anything you do, and someone who literally purposely goes out of their way to ignore anything you do. No
Yeah.
matter if you ask for it or anything, they will flat out go missing out of your life. And then there's people who have not fulfilled any of their own dreams. So I'm seeing you trying to achieve something for your life. First of all, I personally, like, they're so bitter that they're not able to put in the work or go through the process of our last episode, finding your passion, that they're never going to find you or your passion interesting at all. So they're just going
They've
to,
already decided.
they've already decided that, hey, if you can't be next to them on the ground, they don't really care to support you.
Yeah.
So those are kind of, I feel like, two haters, like actual people that are literally going out of their way to make a point that they're not going to be there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as opposed to your mom who's like, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Not a
Yeah,
hater. Just
yeah, like, oh, makeup, okay, how are you gonna make money? Oh, okay, like, and then obviously you go into explaining, and that's what then they turn into supporters
yeah,
or someone who just understands.
exactly, right? And so and someone that's like now like, okay, understands what you do and they're okay with it and they're good with it, right? It's like it's crazy. Like when you think about a hater, first, I think the thing is to like figure out, are they, get real with yourself, like are they really hating or are they testing you out? Because sometimes
Or,
our loved ones will do that. They'll be like, I don't know if she's serious about this. So like
yeah,
let's throw some questions her way and see how committed she is, right? And then dial it down on, okay, so break down what they're actually saying to you. Because if you can actually uncode what they're saying to you, you'll understand if this person's a hater or just genuinely concerned. And
yeah,
then
like,
at the end of it, then you can just also get rid of all the bullshit that's being said and then focus back on you, regardless of what's going on.
that's it. I think the main point is the best thing to do is bring it back to yourself, because that's where this whole thing starts from. The feelings of you feeling like you're hated on or not supported or whatever you're going through, it starts with you feeling that way. So you got to always bring it back to who's in control, whose dream is it, who's going to actually put in the work and get it done.
Absolutely.
Me and hard, me and who, or me, you know what I mean? Like, you have to always bring it back to yourself, because you are the creator of whatever you're trying to create at the end of the day, and you control that. And as soon as you give control to other people, which I've done many times, it bothered me more than it bothered anybody else, because they didn't even know it was bothering me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
always bring it back to yourself, because that's where it starts. And
Exactly.
think of ways to make a positive impact. I wrote this down. I don't want to read it word by word. I was like, think of ways to make a positive impact on your life and others by just doing what you are always expecting from others. You do it. Like I said, that goes back to that hope over expecting. Just hope for the best and do what you're supposed to do. Put out the work you're supposed to put out. And the people that gravitate towards it, they will fucking show up. They will not go anywhere. They will be there. They will support every single thing you do in whatever way they feel they can. And really appreciate the support you get. Sometimes like you can kind of get, blinded by like expecting it for somebody who doesn't give it, but then you forget the person who is.
Someone's giving it to you the whole time. Yeah.
Always start gravitating towards the people who are just showing up for you, and you don't even have to ask, and you don't have to tell, and you don't have to explain shit to. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. I love that. I think that's a good way to like wrap it up and to leave
Yeah.
people on that note. Because at
Mhm.
the end of the day, regardless if you have a hater, a naysayer, whatever it is, even after you decipher it, it still is going to come back to you anyway.
Yes, exactly. Because again, it starts with you. You start the project, you start the dream, you start the goals. It's you. People will be there to test you. There will be haters, there will be naysayers. And those I feel like are just tests.
Yeah,
Either you're gonna give in and give up, or you're not, you're just gonna take it in, flush it out, and still go after what you're trying to go after.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you got something out of that. I know that there's a lot of nuggets, and Serena's on fire, man. She has so much to say because there's been a lot of experience in this realm, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And to share it with you guys, it feels good
Yeah.
because if it can support anybody or help anybody, then that's the goal of this, right?
That's literally the goal. So hope
Yeah,
you guys find that useful. Share your experiences, because for me it's like this was it. These were the type of a thing, but definitely share any experiences you've gone through. We would love to know and how you dealt with it, because we might need some advice ourselves, like I always say.
always
Yeah, so thank you for watching, guys.
awesome. See you guys
All right,
later.
see you
19.
guys next time. Bye.